And now for your listening displeasure or pleasure, whichever one you like, straight out of Milwaukee, the least talked about podcast in Wisconsin, Hypocritical, your outlet to let us praise or vent on all things that in the end really don't matter. How you doing, Al3xaMKE? I'm Moke-can I. And how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you? How you doing? You doing all right, right?
Fantastic. One of my upstairs guys came down to talk to me, just chatted for a bit, and he says, "Hey, is your heat working? Did they turn the heat on for the apartment yet?" And I kind of went, "Oh, I still got a window open."
Yeah, it's been a bit nippy.
People have turned on the heat already. No.
Yeah, it's been a bit nippy. So I know you went to Maker Faire. I went to Maker Faire. I also went to Harvest Fair. What was your, I saw you posted some pictures up on our Facebook page. I've got some photos to post up on the Facebook page, and I apologize for not getting to those earlier. How was your Maker Faire?
I'll tell you, I felt like overstimulated Sheldon. I was like, what do I see first? What do I see first? You know, there's like the R2D2s, the Daleks were there. There was the Tesla thing. I didn't even know that's what it was until I went home and I went, oh, that was a Tesla coil thing. I saw the Tesla coils.
Yeah, I took pictures of that. I'll post those. Yeah,
fantastic. I didn't get to see that. I thought they were just going to do battle bots there, and it was just between shows, so I walked by it and then never came back. But yeah, fantastic stuff there. Had a great time, and actually I made this for our audience. That is, I'll put some pictures. That's the arc that the guy made in between pieces of wood. He made his own lightning in a box. And for $3,
strike.
Yeah, for $3, he'll make that. And they're all snowflakes, you know. I mean, none two are going to be alike. My daughters that I have on there on the pictures is just fantastic. So little things like that all over the place were awesome. Yeah. That was just great.
Yeah, what I really noticed is you're talking about your inner child being like totally like ah, and I'm kind of like that a little bit. But what I really noticed was if you had children, man, you had lots of stuff to do. The first thing when we walked in, there was a little pine car racer. You could build it yourself for $2. They put, yeah, and then they had a Goodwill thing, and then NASA had a little thing, and I think the NASA thing was free, and you could put together a turbine and a couple of other little things that were hands-on. And like you said, the Daleks, the robots, the B9 from Lost in Space was there. A lot of really cool stuff. The Tesla coils, we didn't stay for the show. It was at 1, and we came a little early. But you will notice I am wearing, I showed a little bit, his little robot necklace, little robot on the other side. I bought that from one of the makers. We also bought a couple T-shirts because we wanted to patronize some of the artists.
Oh yeah, so, invest into it. You bet.
Yeah, and one of the guys I talked to was a professor from UWM. I'll post up, like I said, I'll post up some pictures. I'll put his name on there. He does these really cool little metal sculptures, and he was doing that for people and showing them what he does. And he's a teacher there, and so. There were so many local makers. There were so many great people who were trying to put forth the maker, whole, vibe, whether it was for children or for adults. And one of the places I've been wanting to go visit is Milwaukee Makerspace, and I will do that in the near future. I will take pictures. I will talk about it because I've been thinking about becoming a member of Milwaukee Makerspace for a little over 2 years now. It just hasn't been in the cards. So it's something I'm planning on doing in the future. So, look for that. Then one of the other things, did you go to the Harvest Fair?
Well, we walked around in there as well. And I'll tell you, the funniest thing I saw with all that, well, the food is always good again. But the funniest thing is that everybody making their scarecrows and they're dragging them out over their shoulders and buying them.
Yeah.
All I could think of is, yeah, that guy had a little too much, huh? Taking him out. Yeah.
Did you see the scarecrow? It was like a scarecrow daycare, so you could build your scarecrow, and they would set your scarecrow aside, and you could walk around the fair and come back and get your scarecrow, which I thought was really cute. There was scarecrow daycare.
That's good. That's good.
Well, I did buy something there that I want to talk about. I bought some Cream City caramels. These people are out of Wauwatosa, and I am vegan, but I am naughty sometimes. So they had the best caramels. They weren't cheap. They were amazing. we'll post a link to their site on our page, on our Facebook page. Definitely check into them. You know, we got holidays coming up. If you want really good caramels and all sorts of different flavors, they were amazing.
Yeah, those ones that just, you know, melt in your mouth. They taste like the sugar's still there, you know.
Oh my God, yeah. We did the salted caramel and then the chocolate, because I like chocolate caramels and Roger likes the salted. And so we got, you know, a bag that had both of those in it. It was really good.
Fantastic.
So yeah, so I know we were talking about some of the shows we're watching. We can go over that briefly. You're watching what? Gotham, Z Nation, Once Upon a Time, all the kind of fantasy.
Those are all just back there. They're all back. Yeah, they're just all back, and so they're getting good again. And I'll tell you, Once is still one of my great guilty pleasures. I mean, every character you've ever heard of shows up in there. They have a Jekyll and Hyde thing going on right now. But
cool.
You know, so in Gotham, Ivy was young, and now she's just been turned into an adult. So that kind of happened fun there. You know, so there's a little good fun stuff going. These shows are still great. Yeah, so give them a try if you haven't checked them out.
Awesome, awesome. And I know we're both watching Survivor. Cece was not voted out, so you are still good in your pool.
What was she doing on the being written down? Just because she knew the annoying woman that they did send, you know, that they voted out? Well, you know.
I don't know. It's Survivor. Who knows? But my guilty pleasure is Project Runway. I'm a seamstress, so of course I'm going to watch Project Runway. Fantastic show because it is a creative show. They do focus on the drama sometimes. But we actually had a Milwaukee contestant, Linda Marcus, who is the wife of the CEO of the Marcus Corporation. She was a contestant. She was the second person voted out. To be honest with you, her stuff was creative, but it just wasn't fashion quality. I mean, it was a little art schooly. But, you know, given that, I love the fact that people are trying different things. I love watching these shows and seeing people be creative. And I really could care less about the drama. If I want the drama, I'll watch Survivor. When I'm looking at a creative show, I just want to see the creative stuff.
It's fun. So, yeah, Marcus, I'm from Berlin originally, Oshkosh, that area.
Okay.
Ripon has the original Marcus Theater, the first one they bought or whatever.
Really? That's super cool.
Still open, still shows first run movies at this little shop, you know, because, you know, he's never going to shut it down. It's his first one, you know. So, yeah, so it's kind of nice that you get a guy that still trying to keep that hometown and feel to everything and doesn't want to lose his roots. So I kind of respect him for that, like him for that.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, I've never met him, but he seems like a nice guy. I know they're involved in a lot of charitable, you know, stuff around the city, and that, you know, that only adds to our community. So I think that's really cool. And of course, I'm appreciative of $5 Tuesdays because both you and I are moviegoers.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you get your free popcorn, so it's awesome.
Yes, it is.
Well, moviegoing is a part of the cord cutting experience. So I want to talk a little bit about the cord cutting. I've ordered some other parts; those will be coming in. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the things in the news. Plex is introducing Plex Cloud. One of the things I was considering is putting together a NAS server, which would serve as a DVR, and it also can store all of your music and your movies and your photos and stuff like that. But Plex Cloud is looking interesting, so I'm going to look a little bit more into that, see whether that's going to be a better solution rather than having my own NAS server, because that would be money that I would have to build as opposed to a monthly subscription. So I'm going to weigh out the pros and cons, and I'll probably talk about that. Also, Roku is coming out with more streaming boxes, and apparently they're going to start at $30 each. So we will talk about devices at some point, but I have a Roku, I have a Chromecast, and I also have services. So, you know, you need some of these devices to run some of the services on. So we will talk about the next round of devices that are coming out, like Apple TV, and the pros and cons of, you know, whether, you know, one device is better than the other. You know, there's smart TVs. So, you know, that's part of the whole cord cutting thing. So we'll start modulating that a little bit and helping people, you know.
TiVo is still around, right? TiVo is still around, or did they get swallowed up?
Yeah, TiVo is still around. People still use TiVo as a service. But there's so many others. I think, you know, TiVo is less in the spotlight than, say, you know, like Hulu and Netflix. And, you know, that's some of the services, you know, want to talk about real quickly is when you're cord cutting, you're going to want to, you know, use a service. So Hulu, for example, you know, has a lot of like the
TV shows.
Yeah, they'll have the network shows like NBC and ABC, A&E, you know, some of the like Big Ten and NFL Network, you know, Sci-Fi, things like that. I don't believe they have CBS, but then they also have some stuff that is, you know, proprietary, like the Onion News Network and some stuff like that. On Netflix, you know, everybody's pretty much familiar with Netflix by now. You know, it's a subscription service, again, where you can get a lot of movies. They also have TV shows, but again, Netflix purchases the rights to view some of these, because I know we were watching an anime series about a year ago, and we were 3/4 of the way through it. My husband's like all into it because I had already seen it.
Right.
And he's like,
and poof, it goes off.
Poof, it goes away. So
Doctor
you know,
Who, my Doctor Who. Yes,
right.
exactly.
Yeah. And so you have to be aware, and there are some other online, you know, places where you can check to see whether, you know, you need to get all your watching in before before it goes away. Another service, I know you're familiar with it, is Sling TV. Sling TV has a subscription now. I believe it starts at $20 a month. They have a couple, I think they're going to come up with a couple of different tiers, but again, you can watch live TV.
Very limited still, very limited. Sports really, but not hockey, as Brandon knows.
Yeah. Well, Sling TV is a little different than the Sling service from Dish, so, you know, we want to make that, we'll go through some of that. And then there's also, you know, the premium subscriptions like HBO Now, and I think Showtime has one, and probably Cinemax. HBO Now right now is $15 per month. So, I mean, if you don't want to have that cable service and you've got good internet in one of these devices, you can watch your Game of Thrones or your Veep or, you know, your Ballers. You can watch all of those shows, you know, for $15 a month, and you can probably start and stop them whenever you want. So if, you know, you don't want to watch them for the, you know, 7 months out of the year they're not playing, that's money you don't have to spend.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's something to, you know, always keep in mind. So that, you know, cool things. We'll be talking a little bit more about those things and you know, the pros and cons, you know, and going from there. So we have internet adventures we always do, and I know I really haven't been on the internet that much this last week. How about you?
Oh yeah, unfortunately it's all political, so I've been trying to avoid it a little more.
Okay, so I was right not to be on there.
Right. So let's interrupt this normally scheduled segment and just put something in here called like Dave's Bizarre Thoughts. Moke's Moke, Shock the Moke even shocks Moke every once in a while. So,
okay, so we interrupt your normally scheduled internet adventures for Moke's Bizarre Thoughts.
All right. And these are the random things that come into my head, unfortunately, with, you know, if there are any psychologists out there, please do not contact me about them. Ignorance is bliss, you know. So, but, so I'm in Walmart and I'm just walking down the aisle and I can hear this little girl next to me. I could be maybe 8, you know, or something like that. And she's got the hiccups.
Can I interrupt you for a minute?
Sure.
Your first mistake. You were in Walmart.
I was in Walmart. Oh gosh, I love Walmart. If you have your iPod in and your music going and you sync it to the people talking the song, it's hilarious while you're walking around.
That's awesome.
All right. So anyway, this little girl, you know, 8 to 10 maybe at most, you know, and her little sister are walking around. Mom's up a couple of feet ahead or something, and I can hear she's got the hiccups really bad. And I'm kind of chuckling to myself and thinking, oh, I should see if I could fix this for her. It'd be, you know, I could, you know, maybe tap her on the shoulder or something like that, and, you know, scare her or something like that. But then Mom would get mad. So I thought, well, maybe I should just go up and I'll talk to Mom. I'll go up to Mom. I'll just go, hey, I hear your daughter's got hiccups. I'll help her with it. I'm just going to go around the corner and just kind of scare her real quick and see if we can't give her the hiccups. And then, again, in my bizarre thinking world, Mom says yes to this to a total stranger in Walmart. So I go and I wait for a girl to go down, the little girl to go down the aisle. And I'm going to come around the corner and I'm going to go, hey, your mom says she doesn't love you anymore and she wants you to come home with me. Now, if that doesn't scare the hell out of that kid, nothing will.
You are an evil man.
Now, let me be perfectly clear. I didn't do any of that. I didn't even scare the little girl.
We know.
I didn't even scare the little girl as much as I really did when I go woogly boogly, you know, at her, you know, just, you know, get her to shake. But no, I did not do anything like that. I went on my way and bought my sodas and I left Walmart. So
real quick story. My daughter, when she was little, one of the things we used to do, because she loved horror movies, is we would jump out of closets at her.
Oh, I love being scared. I love it because it is the adrenaline, the feel of it on everything. When you're watching scary movies, my dad used to say, "Why do you watch these?" I said, "Because of the feeling you get." And he goes, "You actually want that?" And I go, "Yeah, think about what it does to you and everything." And he goes, "No, I'm gonna start watching them just for that, you know." And one time, my sister was in a barn, and I was going out to feed the pigs. And I get my grain bucket. I'm walking up to the fence that's there, and
we know where this is going.
Yeah,
we know where this is going.
My sister, comes up out of nowhere. I flew back 6 feet in the air. I don't think my feet touched the ground. To this day, I can still remember her face, and it was a morphing of a human and a pig face of some sort that my brain put together in that second. And I was and she's laughing, and I get done laughing. I said, "Oh my God, that's awesome!" And I'm just full of all this, adrenaline or whatever it is, endorphins and all that stuff kicks in. Well, one of the best scares I ever had.
That's awesome. I know that my scaring my daughter scarred her for life because now she jumps out of perfectly good airplanes to get that same feeling.
Oh.
So yeah, pretty funny. Why is that doing that? There we go. So I know we've got some Halloween stuff coming up. We were going to post, at some point we're going to talk about and post a bunch of the horror, haunted houses and horror things that are going to be coming up. But one of the things that people do at Halloween is they wear costumes. And I know you had a little bone to pick about that. And this is not a rant. This is kind of like, this is more topical. This is what's coming up.
And then again, I don't know if it's a rant or again just my middle-aged dad, M-A-D, Moke, I'm confused. I'm old and I'm confused. What am I supposed to do? Okay, this is
You're always old and confused, so it's all good.
I am. I'm looking for guidance. Well, with Halloween coming up, yeah, the PC police. Shh. It's the police. The police. They're inside your head. Okay. Halloween coming. The PC police are already out. Okay. So. No Native American, we know that. No Indian, Middle Eastern, Bindi with belly dancing kind of things. No Mexican hats, ponchos. No psychos on the loose, because that's mental health. You're making fun of mental health. No terrorists, because again, not all Muslims are terrorists. Now, the real tragedy is the children suffer here. The children suffer. Now, think of this. No kid can be Mulan, Jasmine, or even the new Hawaiian movie that's coming out. They already took away a Moke-can I, from that.
What was his name? Mauna or something? He's from Hawaii.
Right, and he's a big guy, and he's got the tribal tattoos. So again, cultural appropriation, anytime you see tribal tattoos. So again, unless you're, any nationality of those people, white kids cannot wear those things. Or black kids.
They can be a nurse, and they can be a doctor, and they can be a construction worker.
Yeah, so
but then we go the construction worker and the fireman and the policeman, and we've got what the village people.
Right, there you go. And now you're appropriating from them. And you can't even. There's even a site that said you can't be a ninja or wear a black belt if you haven't earned it, because it's wrong for those people who have spent the effort to get the black belt. All right?
Okay, so here's the thing. I was a costume designer for nearly 20-some years. I actually had worked with Milwaukee Ballet for a short time, worked with Wisconsin Figure Skating Club. And one of the things a lot of these places do is, Milwaukee Ballet, they do Tchaikovsky, which is the Nutcracker and whatnot. So, I mean, at one point, do we call the Nutcracker cultural appropriation because the Nutcracker has, the suites. So you have, Arabian dance, you have, the coffee, you have the fan dance with the Chinese dancers. So, all of these are themes within Tchaikovsky's ballet. So is that cultural appropriation, or do we forgive them because that was from a different era?
And you can never do that. You can't forgive. That's just it. Elements that are copied from a minority culture by members of a dominant culture, and these elements are used outside of their original context, sometimes even for the express stated wishes, against the express stated wishes of the representatives of the original culture. So again, all it takes is a person to say that I don't like that. That's what it is. That's how.
But the thing is there are respectful ways of doing it, and then there's ways that aren't. I mean, let's take Speedy Gonzales, for example. Speedy Gonzales was, Looney Tunes. and they started taking Speedy Gonzalez off the air, and people wanted Speedy Gonzalez back. But you know who the people were who wanted Speedy Gonzalez back? It was the Hispanic community, because they saw a Hispanic cartoon. They thought that was awesome.
Right,
So,
and he wasn't
you know,
bad. He wasn't a bad cartoon. You know, again, he was fast against the stereotypes, but his buddy was Slowpoke, was, you know, but he had a gun then.
Yeah, but Speedy was clever too. So I mean, you know, what's wrong with that? I mean, you know, and can we only like have? I mean, you can't have it both ways. You can't only have white people be doing certain things, because then you'd only have white people on TV. Because if you have a black comedy and they say, oh, well, black people aren't always funny, black people are serious too. Well, we understand that. You know, white people are funny, white people are serious. You know, if
good writing is good writing. You watch
good writing is good writing, and it shouldn't matter. And that's why
we all turned into Roots, man. We all tuned into that. Come on.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, you have.
But now you have this stuff like when fashion, and like, and you hit on it as well. It's like, it says, where do you start where did you start this taking from? Dreads, they just got that on the walkway. You know, they were wearing dreads on the fashion walkway. Well, you know, they're up in arms. Well, wait a minute. Unless you're Egyptian or Rastafarian, have a card-carrying member of being that Rastafarian people, then you didn't take it. Then they didn't take it from you. You already took it from somebody. Miley Cyrus was accused of stealing twerking. Twerking is something that was done in religious ceremonies. So if you're not from the Aiken tribe, you should be chastised for stealing it and making it into a dirty dance move originally for her to take it. Madonna, she stole voguing from the Latino and gay community. Oh, but they actually took it from Harlem in the 60s. Just because you stole it first doesn't make it yours. What's mine is mine. What yours is ours is not a battle cry. We're America, the melting pot of the world. I say assimilation, you say stealing. All right?
Oh, I agree with you. I agree with you. And
this is where it is. The last bit of it. I'm sorry. Let me just finish.
Okay.
Should I feel insensitive every time I make a pizza or stir fry? No, bad taste will always be in bad taste. Halloween in itself is a stolen holiday. Itself, the whole holiday that we're talking about is a cultural appropriation of mishandling of it. It is the whole poster child of what it's about. All right.
Exactly. And you know, I want to talk about sugar skulls, which are the other thing. You see the women painting their faces with the sugar skulls from Dios de la Muerte.
De Muerte, yeah. Yes. Day of the Dead. They're saying no.
Oh no. But here's the thing. I have a whole Pinterest thing, and I've got a bunch of these sugar skulls on my Pinterest page because a couple of years ago my daughter was going to do a performance, and she was going to do it, you know, on, you know, Halloween, and we were talking about doing that type of makeup for her. And, you know, then she's like, well, I don't want to do this cultural appropriation. And it's like, you know, that's a millennial thing. I'm sorry, because, you know, we've talked about cultural appropriation, and, you know, every single generation has this discussion. And to me, at the end of the day, if you're respectful, if you know, take from the source material and you're respectful of it, you're not being, you know, satirical or, you know, making like a gross parody of it. And even then there's some artistic license.
But you're right. Every 50 years though, what we're being yelled at for cultural appropriation is part of the group at time. I mean, why aren't we able to do that? I mean, I thought that's what we're all here to do. Hey, we grab from you, you grab from us. Oh no. But you're 51% of the population, we're 49, so you can't. Oh, so as soon as it switches to 51-49, then I can be okay with this. Yeah, all right, let's get that rolling. I want to be 49%.
You know, it doesn't make a difference, because at the end of the day, we know you can go through historical documents to see, you know, what kind of, you know, garb certain, you know, people wore, whether it was, you know, Eastern European, Western European, you know, Asians, South America,
it was already stolen before you said it was stolen.
Well, that's whether it was stolen or not, there's a historical documentation of what is right. So, you know, I'm going to take it one step further about even Native Americans, because, you know, I visited Arizona almost 25 years ago. So, I mean, this is quite some time ago, and they're not using the original materials to make some of the wares that the Native Americans are making. They're using European beads, they're using crystal, they're using some of the things that came from Europe and that they culturally appropriated into their own artwork. To me, art is art. That's part of what it is. you mash it up, you make it new, you make it modern, you give it another spin.
And every time that there's somebody who's trying to fight for it for your own culture, listen, fight for it within your own community then. You pass it along to your kids, all right? You tell them what's right. You have the gatherings. You get the people together. You pass it along to everybody so it doesn't get muddled up with how we do it. But if you talk about the Native American things, unfortunately, there's always the people, to me, that are on the other side of it. There's people who want it, say, you know, can't use the word Navajo. You know, I mean, they did that, you know, with the shirt companies, you know, Navajo collection. Can't use that, all right? But this lady is arguing you have to have Native American made or Native-like American made because she wants the extra profit to let people know that they're actually buying from an Indian person, a person who is a Native American, I'm sorry. Now, again, if you're doing this just so that you can get a corner of the market that is being stolen from you, then I'm not up for that. Okay, I
didn't see them getting a corner of the market. A lot of the Native American artisans I saw were pretty, you know, they were in lower income areas, and this was their way of making a little bit more money. I do think that, you know, it is important to preserve cultures, and it's important to preserve, you know, whether you're, you know, with the Donauschwaben group and you're trying to, you know, preserve some of the dancing, like some of the cultural groups here do dancing. But then there's also the Tamarin tribal group, which is tribal fusion belly dance, where they take hip hop moves, they take Egyptian belly dance, they take Turkish belly dance, they take Indian, you know, dance moves and put them all together into this fusion, and it comes into this most beautiful stuff. I'll post a video of Zoe Jakes and her one of her performances, because you'll see some of that put together. And to me, it's not disrespectful to any of the cultures she appropriated from. It created a new art form, and we can't create new art forms until we appropriate from other art forms or other cultures.
Exactly. You know, it's run stagnant, you know, and again, I apologize if it makes it, I don't know how you keep thinking that we're trying to make fun of it or whatever, but I think it's just, we think it's cool, and we like it, and we want to put our stamp on it, and I think everybody should be able to do that.
Yeah, and it's in the name of art. You know, there's a creative license there. So I think cultural appropriation at the end of the day is a misnomer. I think we have to kind of consider it to be, you know, a mashup of art. Now, like I said, if you're being, you know, disrespectful, you know, then there's another thing. And if you're making a political statement with it, that's another thing too. But you know, that's a longer discussion, and I think we've ranted for quite some time. So
yeah, we better just do hip happenings and move on. All
right. I think we'll do some hip happenings. So if anybody has a beef with us, you know, we have a Facebook page. You can comment at us. We're the Hypocritical Facebook group, you know, and we're public, so you know, you can say anything you want, and Dave may disagree with you, or I may disagree with you, or we may agree with you. So please feel free to post up. We're gonna do hip happenings now. All the cool things that are going on around Milwaukee and the area. I know you had quite a few things on your list.
Yeah, there are a few. Again, we got Maxwell Street Days is ending in Fireman's Park. So that is, you know, so I certainly, you know, go out and do those type of things.
Where is Maxwell Street Days?
That is in Cedarburg's Fireman's Park. Sorry, I didn't say the word Cedarburg. Cedarburg Fireman's Park. All right. And then there was something really cool. There's a beginning blacksmith workshop at Old World, Wisconsin. You know, try your hand at blacksmithing, you know, so I thought that was cool.
I actually think that ties back into that Maker Faire stuff, because when we were at Makerspace, there were two blacksmiths out there. Yeah,
that was kind of neat. There's a Brady Street Pet Parade. That's this Sunday from 11 to 5. There were a lot of fun things there. So check that. And again, coming up on the 7th, Museum Friday. So the Public Museum and the Milwaukee Museum of Art are both free on Friday the 7th. So make sure you hit that. And the Schlitz Audubon Festival is October 9th. Check for that. This was kind of funny. There's actually a play out at 10th Street Theater, Dracula versus the Nazis. What if Count Dracula was dragged out of retirement by the British government? I just thought that was, you know, I'm a zombie guy, so
that sounds right up your alley. Where is that playing? Where is that?
That is at the 10th Street Theater. All right. And then you're also bringing up into you the Mama Tried Flat Out Friday indoor flat track motorcycle racing.
I heard they were doing that. When is that going to be?
October 7th. That's at the Milwaukee Panther Arena. So, yeah, so that's coming up on Friday. So people only get 2 days to listen to this and go. So.
Yeah, but you know, if you got a chance, flat track racing is amazing. It's a lot of fun. The one thing I saw that they've been advertising all over the place is the China Lights at the Burner Botanical Gardens inside Whitnall Park. That runs from October 1st to October 30th. It's $15 for adults to get in. I know it's a little cheaper for the children. I'm really intrigued. They've been having it on the news. I saw some commercials for it. So I may go. So if I go, I'll give you guys a review.
Cool.
Yeah. So basically, we're going to sign off now. We will put links to a bunch of this stuff on our Facebook page. We are going to be off next week, so we're going to record a few after hours for you guys to, enjoy in the meantime. But I would like to thank, our listeners, our loyal listeners, Dave's mom and my neighbor Pat.
Pat, mom.
Hey, Dave's mom. Hey, Pat. And if you tell 2 people and they tell 2 people and you're another listener and they tell 2 people, pretty soon we'll get internet famous, and that's our goal, just be internet famous. So thanks for sharing all of our stuff on Facebook, Hypocritical, and I am at Al3xaMKE for Twitter. Our email is hip.or.critical.at gmail.com. So please send us an email if you disagree with us, or post to our Facebook page, or shout out to Twitter. We'll
talk to us. Somebody talk to us. Anybody.
Somebody talk to us. So I just want to say peace out, Milwaukee. You guys are awesome. We're going to do high fives. Everybody, bye.